Welcome back to Mugshots Grill and Bar on Airport Boulevard, getting ready for the Jags and Tennessee. Pat Greenwood along with the head coach Joey Jones. Appreciate you watching the Joey Jones Show. I want to make one correction. I think I said Corey Walden. That is obviously Corey Bastida. We don't want Mom to get mad, right? That is Corey Bastida, so we appreciate his time on the player profile. All right, we've talked Tennessee offense. Let's talk a little Tennessee defense now. And just like the offense, every single spot, they got size, they got speed. They can play.
They have an older defensive front, some big guys inside, defensive tackle 6'8", 350.
That's it?
They got linebackers that are 6'3", 245, and so they really have some size. Really, the whole defense is just really good sized guys. And you can imagine when you're recruiting to the SEC, that's the kind of guys you're going to get.
And you see the pick of the points right there. This is a very opportunistic Tennessee team. They did that against Western Kentucky as well. Score a lot of points defensively.
One thing I've noticed from watching last year's film and this year's film, they're much better defensively. They have better players. They're doing a great job with scheme over there. They're very sound in how they line up. I've been very impressed with their defensive coordinator.
Now, you saw the points that Oregon put up on them. Now, was that a bad day on Tennessee's part, or was that the fact that you're playing Oregon?
I'm going to tell you, there's only about 2 or 3 teams in the country that can stop Oregon, and I don't know if they can stop them.
Right.
Oregon is just phenomenal. Their team speed is, watching that film, they're running normal plays that everybody else runs. They're just outrunning everybody to the end zone.
Yeah.
And, it's incredible. So they faced a real fast Oregon team.
So offensively, where can we have success today?
I think the biggest thing I talked to the team earlier this week is we've got to be able to run the football. That doesn't mean we're going to rush for 250 yards.
Right.
We've got to be able to run the football effectively, and it can't become let's get in the shotgun and throw the ball every down, because if that happens, it's going to be a long day. So we've got to be able to run the football effectively, in my opinion, have a chance.
And offensively, we've been able to do that, and we've really gotten some momentum and some confidence offensively, right?
That's one of the things I talked about in the offseason. We just got to run the football better, and if we can run the football, we got a chance to move the football offensively.
Absolutely. Well, the guy to my left is John Turner, the tight ends coach. Appreciate the time, Coach. And you look at that Tennessee defense, and that's easy, right?
Oh yeah. There's not a whole lot of holes in there. I promise you that. So.
Well, that's the thing. You look at the points that they've given up. That's not indicative of how good this Tennessee defense is it?
No question. Tennessee, obviously they're an SEC school. They do a tremendous job in recruiting. They've got talent everywhere. They've got size. They've got speed. They got guys that can go make plays. So it's going to be a monumental challenge for us today. There's no question about that.
And what's part specifically? Is it D-line? Is it linebackers? Is it secondary? I mean, what makes you go, man, that's going to be tough?
Well, the first thing you look at is the size up front. I mean, like Coach said, when you're 6'8", 350, and then you start, the guys that my guys will have to block are those DNs and the linebackers who are just so athletic and so big and so strong. And then when you get to the safeties, I mean, you look at those guys, they make plays all over the field. I mean, and they will hit you, and they're physical. It's going to be a great challenge. There's no question.
And for us offensively, noise is going to be an issue. And I know we've done a lot in these last 2 weeks to prepare. What are some of the things we've done to try and simulate what we're going to hear in just a couple of minutes?
Well, what's funny is, Coach, we play music every day at practice,
right.
And I've heard Rocky Top so many times. I'm sick of it, to be honest with you. But I tell you what, we do that. Then we work on silent count and things like that. So, we've got a plan, and we're not going to be fazed by the noise.
And Coach, you've played obviously up in Tennessee. How much can you simulate in practice, and how close is that to what you actually physically hear?
You can't really simulate it. You can try the best you can with the speakers in the back of a John Deere, but that's about all we can do. But it was very loud, and it's enough to where you couldn't really talk to each other at practice. So I would think that it's similar, but the decibels will be a few higher than what we had at practice.
We've talked a lot about the depth that we have all over our team this year, and that depth is continuing to build. But let's talk about the weapons you have at tight end, because you got some guys to work with.
Well, obviously we're led by Wes Saxon,
sure.
and Wes has done a tremendous job this year. Wes has always been a great skill athlete. But he's really worked hard to improve his block, and so Wes is an every down player, and he can do a lot of things for us. And he's starting to open some eyes possibly for some NFL scouts down the road. But I've got a couple other guys that have really stepped in and done a great job. Rush Hendricks, Davin Hawkins, Ryan Anka, all three of those guys have really stepped up and risen to the occasion. We're really proud of those guys.
And the tight end role, not just here, but everywhere in college football, really seems to have exploded over the past, say, 5 years. People are starting to realize, if we got a guy that can not only block, he's got to be able to block, but if we got a guy that can catch, now all of a sudden we got another weapon out there, and the tight end progression has really gotten bigger, hasn't it?
It really has, and there's a lot of teams around the country. NFL teams kind of started this and going with this hybrid type athlete type guy that can detach and run routes, but also get in the core and block. And we kind of fell in that with Wes and just took advantage of what his skill set allows us to do. So we're fortunate, and Wes makes a lot of plays for us. He does a good job.
Do you look for a guy that's a receiver that likes to block, or do you look at a blocker that doesn't mind receiving once in a while? I mean, what do you look for when you're looking for a tight end?
Well, in what we're doing now offensively, we look for guys that are athletes, number one. We want to take a big wide receiver that's got some toughness about himself, and we'll be willing to go in there and compete and block and fight a little bit, but we want a guy who can run and obviously a guy who can catch the football too.
It's exciting to play football wherever you're playing, but to go into Knoxville today and the story, Neyland Stadium and the big T and all the orange, that's exciting, not only for you guys as a staff, but for the players. This is a fun experience, isn't it? No
question. These guys, I'm telling you, all week they've been pumped up about it. They're ready to go. And I tell you another thing, our families and everybody's ready to go and be a part of this thing. It's going to be a lot of fun today.
But the challenge too is to keep it under control, keep it in check. What has to happen today for us to go into Knoxville and get this victory?
Well, obviously we have to play well. We have to limit our penalties, minimize to none turnovers.
Right.
And just play well, stay within our system. Not worry about trying to overplay or extend ourselves beyond something that we're capable of doing. Just play within the system, take what the defense gives us from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, those guys are going to play hard on that side of football. I mean, they're going to get after them. And we got to be sound in the kicking game, as Coach always stresses.
Right.
That's the main thing that Coach really stresses is making sure that we're sound in our kicking game and don't give up big plays or take advantage of what they give us, from the kicking game standpoint.
Well, I bragged on the tight ends on Knoxville radio earlier this week, so no pressure at all. Okay.
No pressure, no pressure. Excited about it.
Thanks, Coach. Always good to see you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a look at the Sun Belt Conference in just a couple of minutes. The Ragin' Cajuns got their second straight win over the weekend. We'll tell you what happened and a look ahead to today's games in the Sun Belt. That's when we wrap it up on the Joey Jones Show on UTV 44.